The insane GM HEI ignition trick that turned weak V8s into monsters. Your classic GM V8 is probably destroying itself every time you drive it. And the frustrating part is, it is not your fault. Most builders think a smooth idle at a red light means flawless tuning. The terrifying truth? A 50-year-old EPA-mandated mechanical sabotage is forcing your engine to act like a 2,500-degree internal blast furnace. Right now in traffic, factory-retarded ignition timing is quietly cooking your exhaust valves and boiling your coolant. You didn't build it wrong. A cheap set of intentionally stiff springs hidden under your HEI distributor cap is quietly destroying your V8, while artificially locking away up to 30 horsepower. To save your engine, bypass millions in corporate emissions tuning and unlock the torque Detroit hid from you. Stick around. Hit that like button, share this with your garage crew, and comment below what timing setup are you running right now. To understand how your V8 was castrated, look at legislation, not a spec sheet. The 1970 EPA Clean Air Act mandated a brutal 90% reduction in nitrogen oxides. Because NOx is birthed from high cylinder heat and early spark timing, the exact mechanical ingredients for horsepower, Detroit panicked. GM President Ed Coil faced a massive problem: catalytic converters were useless until searing hot. To pass the EPA's grueling 55-second FT P75 cold start test, Coil forced a mechanical lobotomy called thermal sacrifice. GM intentionally retarded initial timing to a pathetic 4 degrees before top dead center, dumping violent combustion energy directly into the exhaust manifolds instead of pushing pistons down the bore. Look at the competitive graveyard. Chrysler pushed the notoriously fragile lean burn computer. Ford's 1974 DuraSpark II barely managed 25 watts of coil energy. Meanwhile, GM built the high-energy ignition, or HEI, a 50,000-volt nuclear reactor pumping 80 watts of raw ignition power. It was the most powerful factory ignition on Earth, deliberately suffocated inside a legislative cage. An entire generation of builders threw away perfectly good engines, never realizing their Malaise-era V8s weren't weak. They were just prisoners of federal compliance. To survive the lean fuel mandates, GM's Delco Remy division engineered a radically different ignition system. Introduced in 1974, the high-energy ignition integrated the coil and control module directly into a single oversized distributor cap. While the older breaker point systems struggled to generate 20,000 volts, the HEI's E-core coil design dropped primary resistance to just 0.30 ohms, pushing the output up to 35,000 to 50,000 volts. This output was necessary to arc across wide 0.045 to 0.080-inch spark plug gaps and ignite the era's ultra-lean fuel mixtures. But here is the engineering contradiction. GM built a highly capable 50,000-volt system, then deliberately restricted its mechanical operation. Beneath the rotor sits the centrifugal advance mechanism weights and springs that act as the distributor's mechanical brain. To keep combustion temperatures down and satisfy EPA emissions tests, GM engineers installed exceptionally stiff advance springs. Because of this, the distributor mechanically locked out full ignition advance until the engine reached 4,500 to 4,600 revolutions per minute. Consider the reality of driving a stock 1976 L48 Corvette or a Chevy C10. During normal street driving, these engines rarely, if ever, saw 4,600 RPM. Due to those stiff factory springs, the V8 practically never operated on its optimal timing curve during daily use. The hardware was fully capable of producing the necessary spark, but it was permanently trapped in an RPM range the engine rarely reached. Driving a Malaise-era V8 with its factory emissions timing isn't just about accepting poor performance, it is actively destructive. By deliberately firing the spark late, engineers forced the air-fuel mixture to burn violently as the exhaust valves opened. This strategy dumps raw thermal energy straight into the exhaust manifolds, causing extreme gas temperatures, glowing metal, burned valves, and chronic overheating. If you leave those stiff stock springs in your HEI distributor, you aren't preserving history. You are quietly cooking your engine from the inside out. The solution isn't an expensive engine rebuild. It is a $12 recurve kit. By removing the rotor and swapping those stiff, emissions-compliant factory springs for a set of lighter aftermarket ones, you rewrite the engine's mechanical limits. Instead of waiting for 4,600 RPM, these lighter springs allow the centrifugal weights to fully deploy, bringing total timing advance in cleanly by 2,500 to 2,800 RPM. The V8 instantly wakes up with immediate throttle response. The horsepower was never missing, it was simply delayed just out of your reach. The recurve kit was only the first key to the prison. The second trap was hidden in a simple rubber hose connecting to the vacuum advance canister. Before the emissions panic, performance engineers utilized full manifold vacuum, which supplied maximum spark advance at idle so the engine ran cool and smooth. But to pass the EPA's strict idle sniffer tests, GM switched to ported vacuum. This intentionally starved the engine, leaving it with zero vacuum advance at a closed throttle. It was a guaranteed recipe for overheating. GM knew this, so they secretly installed a legal cheat device, the thermal vacuum switch. If the coolant hit a dangerous 220 degrees Fahrenheit, the TVS bypassed the emissions routing and slammed full manifold vacuum directly to the distributor. This panic mode jumped the timing 10 to 15 degrees forward to prevent a total engine meltdown. The fix is embarrassingly simple. Bypass the ported valve entirely and plug your distributor hose directly into a full manifold vacuum source. The reward is immediate. The RPM effortlessly jumps up, combustion finally finishes inside the cylinder where it belongs, and your temperature gauge plummets 20 degrees in seconds. You just undid a federal mandate with 6 inches of rubber hose. There was one final trap that caught thousands of DIY mechanics. When guys ripped out their old breaker point ignitions to drop in an HEI, they often made a critical installation error. Older cars used a ballast resistor or a specific resistor wire to drop the primary voltage down to 7 to 9 volts. This prevented the old mechanical points from burning up. However, the massive E-core coil inside the HEI requires a pure, dedicated 12 to 14.5 volt source to saturate properly and fire its 50,000 volt output. If you run an HEI on that old 9 volt resistor wire, you starve it, making this advanced ignition perform worse than the outdated points it just replaced. But the drag racers of the late 70s and 80s figured out the loophole. Savvy engine builders were walking into junkyards, pulling stock HEI distributors out of rusted family station wagons and dropping them into their track cars. They fed them a direct 12-volt line, recurved the mechanical advance springs, and used those junkyard parts to completely gap guys running expensive aftermarket ignition boxes. This single-wire setup was proven to support 500 to 600 horsepower without needing any external control modules. The ultimate irony of the Malaise era? General Motors had accidentally built a factory race-grade ignition system perfectly disguised as a boring emissions compliance part. If the HEI was this powerful and the fix was just a $12 recurve kit, why didn't GM just offer an optional performance tune at the dealership? Because doing so was a federal crime. The Environmental Protection Agency's FTP 75 test procedure and the Clean Air Act mandates weren't just engineering suggestions, they were strict legal algorithms. If GM altered that factory timing curve by even a few degrees to give you your horsepower back, they would instantly violate their federal emissions certification. The resulting EPA fines could have devastated the corporation. The powertrain engineers in the Delco Remy division knew exactly what their 50,000-volt system was capable of. but their hands were tied by corporate lawyers. For GM's marketing department, it was far easier to sell the American public a fabricated narrative about a new, sensible efficiency era than to publicly admit they had intentionally neutered their own legendary V8s to appease government bureaucrats. Today, chasing horsepower usually requires a laptop, an encrypted ECU, and a maxed-out credit card. But the GM HEI remains the ultimate high watermark for the right to tune. Back then, performance wasn't simply bought, it was physically liberated with a timing light, a flathead screwdriver, and a deep understanding of combustion physics. This is exactly why top-tier modern restomod builders still hide cutting-edge engine internals beneath those massive classic HEI caps. A simple analog one-wire setup can flawlessly support a 600 horsepower engine without a single computer chip. The Malaise era of V8s were never inherently weak. They were just prisoners of their time, waiting for a real mechanic to pick the lock. True horsepower isn't something you buy with a maxed-out credit card. It is something you unlock with pure mechanical knowledge. Stop blindly bolting on expensive parts and start outsmarting the system. To uncover more lost analog horsepower and hidden engineering secrets, hit that subscribe button right now.